Hi everyone, Larry Satchwell here on this overcast, cloudy day. A little gloomy out, but I don't think we're getting any rain today. It's been raining, not really raining, but kind of a drizzling mist for the last 4 days, ever since the hurricane came ashore there in Louisiana. So this is beautiful. This is a earth walker. I love this sunflower. And I'm next to a volunteer zinnia that's, I'm 6 foot tall, technically by the doctor 5'11" and a half. So this is over 5 feet tall. I'm going to be more deliberate in this flower bed this next year. I stopped by the Growers Outlet there in Loganville. I picked up this beautiful Veronica speedweed. I'm going to make that the centerpiece. It's going to grow about 20 inches tall. I've got some snapdragons, and it's kind of a gamble. These could, if we have a really hard winter, these will die out, but they're pretty hardy. So I'm going to take my chances with that. And I got a red, sterile, Rosy Returns, Stellodora type perennial sunflower. Probably put that up at the point. And I've got to figure out what this is. This is from seeds, and I'll probably end up moving that up to the hill. Anyway, there's not a lot going in the garden, but let's walk around anyway. This is Jerusalem artichoke or sunchoke. It's reaching for the sun. I thought I got most of the bulbs moved out of the shade and put over here last spring, but I didn't. She kept trying to move them into the, the sun there. This is a little pool here. We've got a nice bloom there on water hyacinth. The sedum is blooming right there. This is the year-round lettuce that's gone to seed, but this down here is still very edible. This is Thai basil. I love the color. It's nice and dark, but it doesn't get visited by the pollinators nearly as much as the African basil up there. I'll show you that in a minute. With this bed, it's just laying here doing nothing, trying to keep the weeds down to, trying not very hard, keep the weeds out. Got 2 giant fire ant colonies here. I put poison on it yesterday, and I don't want to poke the bear. I have 2 peppers over here, more weeds. This one gave up the ghost, but this one is still producing. It's like I missed a few. My daughter had gotten some sweet corn that was way beyond eating, and I had thrown a couple of ears down here for the chickens that roam to eat, and I guess they missed a couple here. Turning this way, Ethan's flower garden, doing well. The Mexican petunias are blooming. I'm very proud of myself. I've been able to pretty much keep this stuff to a minimum this year. If you recall the last 2 years, this my father-in-law's windmill here was just completely overtaken. You couldn't even see it. So I finally got my cattle panels. These are 5 feet tall and 16 feet long. I'm probably going to attach one of them here, and I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with the other one. Yet to be determined. But these are a pain to transport and a little sketchy at best. Here's how I did it. I knew I wanted these 16-foot 2x6s, and they are a very hard thing to transport in a truck as well. So I put all of it on my wife's car, tied everything down, and made it home from Tractor Supply. While I'm here, I'm really happy with this bed. I've had this design in my head for years, but have never had the opportunity to purchase the liner cheap enough. PVC liner is cheaper. It just doesn't make sense to me to build a $500 raised bed to grow a 59-cent onion or tomato. So I try to do it as cheaply, frugally as I can. And I'll be filling this up because this is going to be a strawberry bed. I don't want to fill it up with a lot of leaves and matter that is going to decompose and lower the bed. These strawberries are going to be in here hopefully for 2 to 3 years. So I want to fill it up with the aged manure I have up in the woods and other soil. What I'll probably end up doing is taking from the 2 triangular beds and putting that soil in here because it's pretty well compressed right now, letting it settle for a little while, and then putting the strawberries in. So that's the plan here. As for these 2, I feed these birds every day, and I've learned over the last couple of weeks that the black one here, I've been calling Mildred. Abby, our granddaughter, has been calling it Shadow, and I think my wife has been calling it Blackie. I found out also that my wife hates the name Mildred. So I'm going to rename Mildred Shadow. I think that is a great name. Or Blackie and Goldie. So leave a comment. Should it be Shadow, Blackie, or keep Mildred? Let me know, and if I need to, I'll go down to the courthouse and change her name legally. And well, I think we're going to keep Goldie there. Goldie's still laying eggs. The black hen has not laid an egg for months. But Goldie lays an egg about once every 5 days. And they are so orange and yellow. Very mixed success with the lettuce here. I'm pretty sure that the chickens ate some of it. But I'm also pretty sure that bugs ate the rest of it. It's still, my soil is still too warm to plant directly. But we're still eating off of this. We had a wilted lettuce salad the other day. These tomato plants are doing great. I've got a really nice, 2 nice tomatoes in there. And there's one down there. And I've still got blooms. So every time I come by here, I rattle their cage. And hopefully we'll get some pollination there. As I mentioned, it's really, my soil is really too hot, too warm to have lettuce germinate. So this cardboard, I've been trying to keep damp here to cool this soil off. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks it'll cool it off. If I keep it wet here, I think it will help. But next week it's supposed to be up in the upper 80s for 3 or 4 days at least. And so I need to keep this as damp as I can to try to cool this soil off so I can direct sow the seeds. This is that enormous box I raised the chicks in. I put the chick side down, so let's just say there's chicken residue on the bottom there. So it'll get a little bit of nitrogen. More Jerusalem artichokes. They always fall over. I don't know what is keeping these 2 stems up, but they're a beautiful flower. I love them, but I don't know how to keep them upright. A little stroll down the perennial bed here, I should say the weed bed. These are the balloon flowers. They're doing great up on the by the porch there. I was at the, here's what's left of my pond liner. I was at the Growers Outlet this week, as I mentioned earlier, and the same pots I have up there are selling for $4 a piece. That is one of the strawberries that's going to go over there. I'm going to try to get every strawberry I can. There's a nice bunch of them over here. In the next few weeks, after I get that bed built up, late October, I'm going to try to put as many of this variety of strawberries I can and see what I've got. And this is the time of year to order bare root strawberries. So the black-eyed Susans are really looking ugly right now. In fact, the only thing really thriving is the basil up there and the weeds. My Joe Pye weed, I don't know what's happened here. I learned last week that this should have a lot of moisture, and in fact, I asked her what was happening. She said, well, it looks like you're drying out. How deep is the crown in the water? And at the Pond and Petal, they grow their Joe Pye in a shallow dish. So maybe I need to think about that for next year. The echinacea are reblooming. And so is this. I can't remember what that is, but this was once a 6-inch pot. I can tell the weather's changing because the water lettuce here doesn't grow nearly as fast. And so it's a lot less cover there for the fish. In that, under that waterfall, it goes back about 2 feet, and it's about a foot, 14 inches deep back there. I call it the fish cave. So if I have any predators that are bothering them, they can hide back there. That guy's getting big. Top of the hill now. This Larope is doing really well. I left this variegated one here. I really like it, and I like the size of it just the way it is. This Vinca it'll come back every year, and it can be overpowering, but it's never been a big problem in my garden. The turtle heads, I'm a little disappointed in. I saw them yesterday. I'm not convinced that I'm going to have a lot of success with these, so I'm not going to purchase any more right now. This is the African basil, and even on this gloomy day, there's bees working on it. I believe it was last Monday or Tuesday. It was a sunny day. It's really hard to capture on film the amount of bees on here. It's just incredible. There are 2 plants here, and this is a 1 plant right here. The cardinal flower that I had last year that did so wonderful, not so much this year. And I don't know why. I got it in late. I couldn't find them. So maybe that's part of the problem. I hope it comes back. My cardinal flower from last year didn't come back. I'm going to try to mulch it pretty heavily. This big patch of speedweed or veronica here has done really well. I love the size of it. And it's starting to heave out of the ground a little bit, so I need to get some more mulch on that. This is where the chickens love to dig, and I've given up trying to keep them out of here. This lantana bush right here is doing wonderful. It is visited mainly by butterflies. The bees don't go there so much. Here's the balloon flowers I was talking about earlier. They're thriving. I'm going to leave you today here at my rustic gazebo. I love this. The uprights here are red cedar taken off of the property at least 25 years ago. They're not in the ground. They're up on bricks. The ceiling is made out of split rails. I'm not sure what kind of cedar it is. It grows out west, but it splits real easily, and I made that. That's the whole roof. The petunias are beautiful here. The cypress vine up there. The hummingbirds just hover over this gazebo all day long. This is a fake birdhouse. There's a hole that appears to be in it, but it's blocked off. I don't want any birds in here because this is a very easily accessed by predators. So this is one of my favorite parts of the garden. You've seen me have coffee here before. I love watching the fish. September 15th. Can't believe it's already here. Very busy time of year for me. Preparing for Christmas gifts for everybody. I've got several Highland games coming up. In fact, our home game, Stone Mountain, here the 3rd week in October. If you're in the Atlanta area and watch my videos, give me a shout out. I'll be on the field. I'd love to meet you. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Hit that bell. Give a thumbs up. Share with one of your friends. See you October 1st.